afternoon, everybody. A church finding light in a bad situation after an early morning fire. Plus, the suspect in the death of that pregnant mother is due in court today. And a former Alabama player has thrown his hat in the ring to be the next lieutenant governor. Those stories and more on News 5 now.
Brought to you by Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers, covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to News 5 Now. I'm Devin Walsh. I am so glad to be with you on this Thursday afternoon. We've had a very busy news day, starting with a church fire destroying a sanctuary of a church in Mobile. So let's go ahead and get right to our big stories at this hour. And we're going to begin with number 5. Alabama is set to execute a man convicted in a 1993 murder where the victim was burned alive. Anthony Boyd is set to die by nitrogen gas at Holman Prison in Atmore. The murder happened in Anniston. He and three other men were accused of killing the victim over a cocaine debt. Dozens gathered in Montgomery outside the state capitol to protest that execution. Number 4. Double check your speed when you're driving on Highway 59 near Baldwin Prep Academy. The speed limit approaching the school zone will now be 55 miles per hour, while the speed limit within the school zone will be 40 miles per hour. Morning drop-off at the academy will be from 7:30 to 8:15, and afternoon drop-off is from 2 to 2:45 in the afternoon. Number 3, hometown football star A.J. McCarron has officially announced he is running for lieutenant governor of Alabama. The former St. Paul's and Alabama quarterback made the announcement in a video on YouTube. He is focusing on his conservative values and faith. McCarron is new to politics and seeking to uproot career politicians. Others vying for the Republican nomination are Secretary of State Wes Allen and Agriculture Commissioner Rick Pate. Alabama's primary is in May. Number 2, a man accused of killing the pregnant mother of his 10-month-old is due in court this afternoon. David Smith is charged with capital murder in the death of 20-year-old Amaya White. He's accused of breaking into Wilmer Hall, a safe home on Old Shell Road, and killing her on Tuesday night. We will have more for you tonight on News 5. And number 1, Mobile Fire Rescue is monitoring hotspots after a church went up in flames this morning. The fire happened at 3 Circle Church on Sage Avenue just after midnight. Mobile Fire Rescue said the call came in, and when the crews got there, they had to call for backup. At one point, they had 50 fire rescue crews on the scene. The sanctuary is destroyed because of the foam in the roof. It was very difficult to fight, and they have been putting out hot spots all day long. The church has several buildings on this campus, so even though the sanctuary is not usable, there are other buildings they can use for church services for the next several weeks, months, or how long it takes to rebuild that sanctuary. And that is a look at our big stories at this hour. And I'm making sure I mention they don't know yet what caused that fire. I'm guessing something electrical because there was no lightning in the area last night. And so we're going to be following up on that. At noon, our reporter Clancy Callahan showed us windows of the church, stained glass, beautiful windows had melted. So certainly a lot for this church congregation to deal with. My understanding is they do reach out to the less fortunate and the homeless in our area. And that is definitely a busy church community. So we'll be following up with them as they begin that rebuilding process. And there are other 3 Circle churches in our area, including those across the bay. And that's a look at the big stories. We'll have more on that later today on WKRG. All right, now it is time for our question of the day. And it looks like we're switching gears a little bit here. We're asking you to describe your perfect date night. Describe your perfect date night. Some fishing poles and a little snack. Carol, I love this one. April 25th, not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. Happy hour at the Haberdasher. Relaxing in my recliner. No kids. Jeannie's got to find a date first. Happy hour at the Haberdasher. Relaxing in my recliner. No kids. Jeannie's got to find a date first. No kids. Jeannie's got to find a date first. Happy hour at the Haberdasher. Relaxing in my recliner. No kids. Jeannie's got to find a date first. Starting with watching a sunset at Dauphin Island, listening to waves crashing on the rocks for hours after the sun goes down. Finish the night with Whataburger. Let's see. Dinner at the Olive Garden, then a long drive with the windows down. Afterwards, a walk on the beach and taking time to hear the waves of the water. Maybe a little dancing with my handsome spouse. Sandy's comment. Thank you, Sandy. Love live local music and dancing, Laura Ann. Stacy says, sitting on the beach, a little worship music playing, looking at the sky and just listening to the peace. Debbie says, a day without our phone in our hands. All right, well, thank you so much for those comments on your perfect date. Now it's time for our question of the day. Our poll of the day. And this one was inspired by some news we reported yesterday about a Carnival announcing year-round cruises in Mobile. That's not necessarily new, but that's going to start in 2027. But now we know it's going to be the Carnival Valor, which is an even bigger ship than the Spirit. The Spirit's going to start cruising out of Mobile in the next few weeks. But the Valor is coming in 2027, and it's going to be a bit of a bigger cruise ship. So we're asking you, and I've never been on a Carnival cruise, but I've been on a Disney cruise with the kids. But I know people have a lot of fun on those Carnival cruises. If you want to participate in our question of the day or our poll, you have until 5:30 tonight to do it. You can find our question and our poll on WKRG.com and WKRG's Facebook page. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of News 5 Now. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Devin Walsh. I'll be doing the 4 on 5 today, as well as WKRG News 5 at 5. So set your dial on Channel 5, and I'll see you later this afternoon. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. You are watching News 5 Now, brought to you by Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers.
In the courtroom, the judge knows best, and this judge does too. If you've been hurt in a wreck, you need a law firm that knows the system and how it works. I'm attorney David Green. Call or come by anytime. You never need an appointment.